Good morning students. In the last class, that was the introduction class, we have seen the importance of data analytics and we have seen certain classification of data analytics. This is my second lecture, that is Python fundamentals. Because we are going to use this Python in this lecture, I have three objectives. One is I will tell you how to install Python. Second one, I will see some fundamentals of the Python. Third one, some data visualization. In the data visualization, I am going to give only theory in this class. The next class we are going to use Python and we are going to take some sample data and we have to visualize the data using Python software. As I told you, the first one is how to install this Python. There are 5 steps is there. Step 1 we are going to see in detail in coming slides. In step 1, we are going to visit this website www.anaconda.com at the address bar of the web browser. Second one, we are going to click on download button. Third one, we will download Python 3.7 version for Windows operating system. Then we will double click, that is the fourth step, we will double click on file to run the application. The fifth one, we will follow the instruction until the completion of installation process. What I have done, I have taken the screenshot of all the 5 steps while installing the laptop. I am going to show each steps in the form of screenshot. The first one is type this www.anaconda.com at the address bar of the web browser. Second one is once you typed it, you can see this screen. So, here you see the this location, you can see here this location there is a download option. When you click that, you see that the left side also I have rounded, there is a download option, you download it. The third step is there are 2 versions of Python, Python 3.7 and Python 2.7. In this course we are going to use the latest version, that is a Python 3.7. In the fourth step, double click on file to run the application, it will get downloaded. When you double click, for example, I have stored this Anaconda in a F folder. Step 5 is just keep on click next, you have to agree for their agreements, terms and conditions. Next you just me recommended, click next, then it is installed in C drive, click next, then install, installation process is started, then installation is completed, again click next, again click next, then click and finish. Okay. Now, you have installed the Anaconda. So, I will explain you how to open Jupyter Notebook. I will switch the screen. Yeah, this is the screen. Initially there are, you see, I will see what is this. So, some box it is showing in blue color, sometimes it will show in green color, that I will show you later. So, this is the Jupyter Notebook look like. The next one is why there are some more interfaces there for using Python. There is a Spider is there, Jupyter is there, but we prefer Jupyter for some reasons, because it is edit code on web browser. It is easy in documentation, it is easy in demonstration and it is user friendly interface. That was the reason we are using Jupyter. It is not necessary if you already you are comfortable in some other interface, you can continue with that. See the in Anaconda it consists of 2 software, one is on say Python, that is on the left hand side, the another side, the right hand side is the Jupyter applications. These are combined together and kept in the Anaconda software package. When you from the start, when you type Jupyter, you will get this screen. Then when you click launch, you will get this one. So, now from the start I am going to explain how to start this Python Jupyter Notebook. You have to type Jupyter Notebook. When you click it, you will get this one. Suppose if you want to type in a new, go new Python 3. Yeah. Here there is a Jupyter, there is a, it is coming untitled 2, there you can change the name, you give the name as Introduction to Python. Introduction, okay. You see there is a box is appearing, this is called a cell, I have made it in the red color, it is a cell, it is it can be, the cell can be accessed using enter key. You see sometime that box will look like a green color indicates it is in edit mode. Sometime the box will look like in blue color, the blue color indicates it is a command mode. See when you go to below the help there was a file name is called a markdown. There if you type something then you select markdown, that is used for making documentation. So it contains documentation, here text not executed as a code, it is only for our understanding purpose. Okay. Now about the Jupyter notebook, command mode allow to edit notebook as a whole. To close edit mode press escape key. Execution can be done in 3 ways. You can simultaneously you can press control enter. So what will happen when you press control enter, output field cannot be modified. Another way is to press shift enter, output field is modified. Then there is a third way is there is a run button on the Jupyter interface that you can directly you can click that, then your code will get executed. Command line is written preceding with hashtag symbol. So when you want to make some understanding on the your program, you can use the hash symbol, so that will not be executed, that is only for your understanding purpose. There are about Jupyter notebook important shortcut keys. When you press A, that is used to create a cell above. When you press B, that is to create a cell below. When you press DD for deleting cell. When you press M, that will made as a markdown cell. When you press Y, that is for coding cell. For example, when I am entering B, we will go to next one, fundamentals of Python. You see loading a, what we are going to see in coming slides, loading a simple delimited data file, counting how many rows and columns were loaded, and determining which type of data was loaded, then looking at different parts of data by subsetting rows and columns. Because these activities are more important, because once we loaded a data that may have n number of cells, n number of rows, column and rows, sometime we need to do some operation using only few rows or few cells. You should know how from a big data file how to use only a particular row or how to use a particular column. Sometimes we can have a collection of rows also, collection of columns also for doing our specific operations. This was the reference book which I am following for this course, and the book name is Pandas for Everyone, especially for this lecture. It is the Professor Daniel Y. Chen, he is the author of this book. Now we are going to learn how to load a simple delimited data file. This is the fundamental, because before doing data analysis the first step is how to load the data into the Python. For that purpose we are going to import some basic libraries. One is Pandas, NumPy, another is matplotlib.pyplot.splt. So first we are going to import these 3 basic library, then we are going to load the data. The data name, the data source is, it is taken from www.github.com, jennybc/gapminder. So I have downloaded this data set already. I am going to tell you how to load the data set into the Python. Before that I am going to open that Excel file, I am going to show what is the column, what is the rows. Open the Excel file. When you look at this, I am reading the column, see that there is a country, year, population, continent, life expectancy, that is given as the short name life EXP, then GDP per capita. So in rows there are how many rows is there, I will tell you how many rows is there. I am coming down, and this is CSV file format. How many rows is there? There are 1705. The last row is Zimbabwe, right. Please look at the data. Zimbabwe, year 2007. I think it is a population, continent, life expectancy, this is a per capita income. Okay. Now this data, this CSV file I am going to import into the Python. You see that I am going to call this data set df, df equal to PD, because PD is the short form of pandas. Pandas nothing but the panel data, pandas dot read underscore CSV. Why I am using CSV? Because the CSV file is I am going to read it. The location of the file, I given the path of that file, you can directly copy that path, but one thing is you have to note it down. See, C colon, this should be forward slash, because when you copy that path directly, generally you will get a backward slash, but you have to change it. So I changed it C colon backslash users backslash etcell backslash desktop backslash gapminder hyphen 5-year data dot CSV. Look at there, it should be in the code. Now I am going to read the df. Yes, once I read it, you see that the row is starting from 0, that is very important. It is 0 indexing, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am able to see the whatever I have seen in the CSV file just a few minutes before. You see, I am able to see the country, year, population, continent, life expectancy, and GDP per capita. Okay. How I have read it? PD dot read underscore CSV. Suppose I have installed, I have loaded the data. I want to say what are the headings of that file. Heading means what are the columns. For that, there is a in Python, there is a, you have to type print, open the parenthesis df dot head. When you execute this one, you will get first 5 rows, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means when you execute this one, you can see first 5 rows from the data set. Yes, you are able to see that. Okay. I will go to the next command. Suppose I want to know the size of that file, that is I want to know how many rows and how many columns is there. For that, there is a command called shape. So print df dot shape. Df is our file name, because after loading that CSV file we have named in the variable called df. Okay. So when you type print df dot shape, then you will come to know how many rows is there, how many columns is there. So I am typing print df shape. One more thing, you should not type this parenthesis, because the shape is without parenthesis. So I am going to remove this parenthesis, again I am going to run it. Yes, it is showing how many rows, how many columns. Okay. We will go to the next one. Now I want to know how many column names, what are the column names. So if I type print df dot columns, right, please note that here also there is no parenthesis. If I type print df dot columns, this was the output which I copied. See what as output is appearing: country, year, population, continent, life expectancy, GDP per capita, data type is object. I will show you how this command is running. Type print df dot, yes, you are able to get this one. So what the students, what you have to do while looking at the video, you have to open your laptop, you have to try this. You have to simply type this command, then you have to see, you can verify the answer. Okay. The next command is to get the data type of each column, you have to type this command print df dot d types, that will give you the summary of the all data set and what is the nature of the data. We will see that how it is appearing. So, I am going to type print df dot d types. Now, we will see the data type of each column. For that you have to use this command d types. So, print df dot d types, this is the output which you will get it. I will show you in Python. First we will look at the what is this object output. You see country is object, year is an integer, population pop it is a variable that is in the float. Float means there is a decimal. Continent it is an object, that means a character. Life expectancy it is a float, that means you are going to get that value in decimals. Similarly, GDP per cap, that also going to get in the decimals. Then data type is object. Now we will go to the Jupyter, we run this command. So, you see that you see line number 8 print df dot d type, you are getting whatever it was there in the whatever I have shown in the slide, it is there. Say country object, year integer, population float type of data and so on. This is a classification of types of data in the perspective of pandas and the perspective of Python. See, when I say string, it is a most common data type, it is a character. When I say int, it is a whole number, integers, it is a float number with the decimals. Date time is that is to represent the data, it is not loaded by default, that need to be imported. Whenever it is a requirement is there, that we will see that one. One more command is to get more information about the data. So, you type df.info, you will get the full details about each columns, we will do that one. Look at this, yeah. When I type print df.info, so I am getting data columns, there were 6 columns, country there are 1704 rows is there, non-null object, that means all the data there is no missing values. Similarly, year 1704 rows is there, non-null that is an integer, non-null means that all the values are filled, there is no missing cell. So, population, float, continent, object, life, exp, floating, GDP per cap, float and memory usage is this much. Suppose there is a big data file is there, we want to see the specific rows or specific columns, how to do that? Now, get the country column and save it to its own variable. So, country is the, if you look at the data which I have shown initially, country is one of the column. So, I want to pick up only that country column, I am going to save it, I am going to give the name for that country underscore df equal to df. You see that you have to open the square bracket within quote. Suppose in the country column I want to see first 5 rows, okay. You type print open parenthesis country underscore df dot head, that shows first 5 rows. You see that? Now, from the full data we have fetched only the country column, that we have seen, there are first 5 rows, that is the 0th row is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. First 5 rows we are able to see when you from the big file. Suppose there may be a requirement, you need to see what are the last 5 observations. For that purpose, you type print country underscore df dot tail, then you can see from the bottom we can see last 5 rows. We will see how it is appearing. Yes. So, what is we are able to see last 5 rows from the country underscore df file. There may be requirement you need to see more than one columns at a time. So, I am going to save in the form of another file name, that is called subset equal to df. You see there is a double square bracket. So, I want to fetch the country columns, continent columns and year columns, then I am going to see what are the headings, that means I want to see what is the 5 rows of this subset. So, I will go to there, go to Python now. I am going to call it as subset. Continent, suppose I want to see the first 5 rows of this file called subset. Data set called subset. You see that I am able to fetch 3 columns at a time, that is only country, continent and year. The same way we from the subset file I want to see last 5 rows. So, print subset dot tail, let us see what we are getting, we will get this output. Yes, you see that there are 3 columns, there was the last 5 rows from the bottom. So far we looking at different columns. Now we want to subset rows by index label. There is one command called LOC. So first we look at the file, initial file, that is a print df.head. Next you see that I want to locate the 0th row. So for that purpose print df.loc, see it is a square bracket, you type 0, because if suppose we want to know the first row, I have to enter, because I have to enter 0 because Python counts from 0. So, print df.loc 0, that will show the first row. You see 0th row is a country Afghanistan, year 1952, population is this much, continent is Asia. Suppose I want to access this first row, that means 0th row. Yeah, 0th rows you can verify. See 0th row is a country Afghanistan, year 1952. This is a way to access a particular row. The students, dear students, whatever comments which I am typing, that will be given to you when you take this course. You can practice yourself. You need not bother about in case if you are not getting at this stage. This all the commands, all the codes will be given to you. You can practice on yourself. Suppose I want to get the 100th row. How to access? From the file df, I want to locate 100th row. So, you type print df.loc99, you can exactly access in 100th row what is the element is there. Suppose I want to access 100th row, df dot 100th row is the country Bangladesh, year 1967, population this is it. This is the way to access different rows for our calculation purpose. So far we have seen how to load a CSV file into the Python. We have seen some basic commands. we have seen how to know the size of the file, then we have seen how to access a particular row, and also we have seen how to subset from the given big file, how to subset different small data files, so that can be used for our further analysis. So, the next class we will see how to access different columns, that will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.